what is this called again?
What is what called again?
That thing that we do.
A podcast?
No, I mean, what is it called?
Pookie and Kibbles Squared Circle?
I believe you're on the top of the first of the marquee of Kibbles and Pookie's squared circle. Because I remember when I read it into my editing, it says KNP.
Oh, yeah,
squared
I guess
circle.
you're right. You're right, KNP.
Are we recording?
Yep.
Okay. I'm embarrassed. KNP. KNP what?
We're Key and Peele.
Is that a thing? Is that what they call them?
Yeah, sure.
When they walk down the street, people go, "Hey, that's KNP."
Yeah. I don't know. KNP made me think of Key and Peele.
And I said, bitch. You said it though.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a podcast all about wrestling. In this corner, an author and a black belt, Kibbles.
Kibbles? What kind of name is that?
Pookie the Wolf is the best.
I forgot my copies. And in this corner, Pookie the Wolf.
Pookie the Wolf is one of the best.
Welcome to the Kibbles and Pookie's Squared Circle.
Hey, we do a podcast about wrestling.
Yes, we do.
Welcome everybody to Kibbles and Pookie's Squared Circle. It's been a very long time since we've done this. And I feel like a very long time isn't really the right reference. Excuse me. But it's been about 2 weeks. And that's, for wrestling, seems like a while since it's very up to date and a constant thing. We had... Is there anything from before last time we recorded that you could think of that we wanted to talk about?
No.
Because the week before was Mother's Day, and then we went and saw Danhausen. I looked at my notes as if I didn't know his name. And then we met Danhausen, so we didn't do one that day, which was a Sunday. So it's been 2 weeks, right? I just feel like if you stop talking about wrestling, it's just things go by so fast. I don't remember what we talked about last.
Yeah, the last thing, I know the last thing we talked about was going on Wednesday to go see Dynamite. Then it was Mother's Day, and then, the week after that was, which was last week, was Danhausen, so, yeah.
Which we met.
And
we met Danhausen.
We totally could have recorded one in the car on our phones, but it probably wouldn't have sounded that good, so.
It probably would have been weird. But we met Danhausen. Let's start off with that, I guess. My thing, what's still kind of weird about is how I was assuming it was going to be like a in-character situation, which it wasn't. Which, when I'm, my pop video that's going to go out, I'm not going to bring up that, but it very much threw me off. It very much, we got in there and I'm kind of just weirded out that he's himself. It's good. I'm glad. I was happy that it was himself, but it just kind of weirded me out because I was I was expecting, to stay in character and do this, all the bits. But, we talked about it in the car where it's just did I do that? Or, what's the slogan from Homer or Bart? Bart's catchphrase was
Eat my shorts?
No, it was there's one where he got famous because of it. I didn't do it or something like that. It was the one episode where he became...
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, but I can't think of the...
By the way, I know, quick side note. Quote. Yesterday I was watching it, and it reminded me of you because he did the saxophone, saxophone. Which I don't know if that's the melody he uses, but he just breathes into the saxophone. Yeah. But yeah, so he was just... It was weird for me because it's it was very humbling and very real, and I wasn't expecting that. And it's not a bad thing, but it's just I wasn't ready for Donovan. I was ready for Danhausen.
Mm-hmm.
So it was very strange to me.
Yeah. No, I thought it was cool that he was him. It seemed like from hearing other people when we were still in the store that if you kind of said certain things or made certain references or tried to whatever, he would kind of pull out the character for a couple seconds.
Yeah, like
Um,
recordings and stuff too.
Yeah, which was cool. And he definitely would turn it on a little bit more for when kids came.
Yeah. The two situations I could think of, which was I'm going back and I'm editing it now, which will probably be up. I want to say by now, but the one part when I was editing was there was a part with my phone and I'm casing the whole room as I pass by Danhausen, I just see a guy talking to him, and I texted you about this yesterday. I went, "Hey, did you go back and talk to Dan? Because it's definitely you talking to him as I'm recording." And I'm like, I don't remember Kibbles going back, because I mean, you and me lost each other as soon as we got in there. Like as soon as we were done, we were like, all right, go fuck off, do whatever the fuck you want. But you could just see like real quick, and I'm like, no one would know it's you. I know it's you because I was there with you and I know what you were wearing. But also like, I was like, oh, that looks like Kibbles, and I was like, that's why I texted you. I was like, wait, was that Kibbles? But it was the fact of like, I didn't realize it because we both kind of did our own thing as soon as we walked into the building. So it was like that, and then the you remember the New York Rangers guy? He came in and said, "Please curse the Pittsburgh Penguins." And then Dan Housen was like, he's like, no. He's like, Brito killed me. He's like, I can't do that. He's like, you know what? Rangers are cursed. He's like, no. And he's like, he was almost like walking in as if he was like a humble servant. Like he's like, please, sir. He's like on his knees, like, please curse the Pittsburgh Penguins. And it was like this really weird, like, really weird situation of like Danhausen not in character, and this guy was totally doing a bit the whole time, and you're like, it's awkward, but it's still funny. Like, it didn't get to the point where like, all right, dude, cut it out. It was more of like a, haha, that's funny, and then they moved on. So, those are the two things I remembered, or two things besides the figures and shit, but that's in the video.
Yeah, no, yeah, I think we maybe had like a 10 or 15-second conversation probably when he was walking by and looking at figures and stuff. He actually on his YouTube channel released a video.
Oh, did he? I didn't even watch it yet.
Yeah, of being at Pandora's box. Which I also already knew from, I think, the Major Wrestling Figure podcast. They were there before, which is how I found out about the place in the first place. But they have that like whole like showroom, where you can get stuff, and then they have all of this stuff that they are, that they haven't like put out yet, or they're waiting for certain stuff, or they're waiting, once they get room and stuff will sell and whatever. They have like a whole fucking warehouse, just filled of
just
more stuff. Yeah, like the warehouse is just as big as the.
I do
place.
like the fact that there's a lot of stuff that was like old stuff that you'd find at like, it almost felt like thrift store kind of stuff, but then at the same time there was stuff that's like in pretty good condition that you'd be like, oh yeah, it's still in the packaging and all that. And I was like, that was pretty cool, because I wasn't expecting the thrift store kind, because there's like albums, records, and just kind of like boxes of stuff, and like a lot of the stuff that's like just old that people who are like really big fans of it would buy, but like if you saw it, you'd be like, this isn't, like if you were like a big collector, you'd be like, oh, this isn't in good condition, I'm not gonna take this. But people who would buy it, they'd be like, oh, I love Power Rangers, I'm gonna buy this thing. So
yeah, they just got they post up pictures of stuff that they not all the time, but sometimes they buy they buy stuff from collectors and from people and from garage sales and stuff, and so they post up pictures when they like buy up a whole bunch of stuff, or when they're bringing certain items from like the warehouse onto the show floor. And they actually they were like, oh, from whatever collection, and they actually posted up a picture of it was a green and I think pink Power Ranger flip head from '93, still in the the boxes aren't great condition. They're okay condition, but like still in the box.
I think it's
still in the packaging, and I was like, oh fuck, I would so buy buy that and keep
I'll
it
be
in the
right
box.
there.
Yeah.
It'll only take me 2 hours to get there. No big
Yeah.
deal.
Well, it was funny because I commented and I was like, oh, that's really cool. Like, shame I'm not gonna like be there anytime soon. Those will definitely sell before. At one point I had when I first found the place and I found they had like a walkthrough video where they kind of showed the layout of the store and where certain sections are, and they're like, this is a miscellaneous section. This is the GI Joe section. This is the Marvel section, and yada yada.
Yeah.
And then
Wrestling.
wrestling, and then they showed the Power Rangers, and it's just that one little section. And I had kind of said like, oh, like, do you have more like Power Ranger stuff that's just like not there that like you didn't show or something or whatever? Because I'm really into collecting that stuff. And the guy was like, yeah, we have our Power Ranger section is smaller because it's one of our like top 3 like quickest sellers.
I'm
Like
sure.
we get Power Ranger stuff and it fucking sells
I'm
so
fucking
fast.
Sure. Like, it's. I mean, we could talk about that all day. I want to eventually move on because I want to talk about the wrestling stuff. But the stuff that was there, it's just like, it's such a, I don't know, it's such a weird thing. It's like, it's got so many different types of things from different types of eras. You saw the Warriors of Virtue stuff that I was like super into, and I loved that movie. And like, you could find like, I saw some kind of like weird bootleg Ninja Turtle at one point, and I'm like, it's just such a weird grab bag of stuff. And was it Lafayette, New Jersey, Pandora's Box Toys and Collectibles. It's awesome. We're definitely gonna go back there again. But yeah, we met Danhausen there, so that was pretty fun. And do you have a video? Are you making a video for that?
No, I actually didn't record any video. I
Yeah.
kind of meant to, and then just.
I don't think I would have done it if I didn't make the pop for it.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought
That's-
about it, and then I ended up not doing it, and I was just kind of like,
And even the
Whatever.
recordings I have are like really small stuff.
yeah,
Like quick, like we made fun of that Gold Dust blackface looking guy.
yeah,
And like it just stuff like that where it's just like the small stuff. I didn't really record too much, but it's just for the video to see the place that we were at when we went to go visit him.
yeah.
But yeah, it was fun. So how can we segue that into something new? The wild cards have been revealed.
The wild cards have been revealed.
We're down to what's
Well,
the tournament now?
here's how you segue it.
That's fine. I'm gonna bring up the Owen Hart tournament.
Yeah. So here's how you segue it. We were at a toy store, and one thing that people are into collecting is Batman. Batman has a famous villain called the Joker, and we had Jokers were revealed for the tournament this week.
Yes.
I need that little attack of the show segue thing.
Yeah, that's a terrible segue. Or thanks for the terrible segue. Yeah. So, okay, so what we have so far is we still have what? Joe versus Kyle O'Reilly, and then Adam Cole is just there. So they're assuming that at least the Undisputed Elite are assuming that it's going to be Kyle versus Adam Cole, which I think is not going to be the case, of course, because I think Samoa Joe and Adam Cole would be a big get as far as a matchup.
Yep.
I'm sure they've done it in ROH. Have they done it in ROH? Maybe not, actually.
No.
Yeah,
Joe
'cause he would have been, yeah.
Joe would have been gone by then.
But either way, it's ROH, two ROH alumni people, and I think it's going to be good.
Yeah, no. That's definitely that's definitely going to be the finals. Because I don't think they'll do Kyle O'Reilly. Depending on how many matches they've already announced, I would not be surprised if they have if Kyle O'Reilly loses and then they do O'Reilly and Bobby Fish against Sting and Darby. Because they announced via social media that we will be getting the Young Bucks versus the Hardy Boys.
Okay, and then I'm having a hard time bringing it up.
Which is interesting because I thought it was going to be I thought it was going to be an 8-man tag after that end segment, and Darby and Sting came out.
Yeah, it's been because either way they're going to be missing Adam Cole at
Right.
Double or Nothing. So it'd
And-
have to be like if they do maybe like I feel like 8-man tag
Yeah, but they're not.
for Double or Nothing.
Correct. They
They're-
already announced it's Hardy Boys and Young Bucks.
Okay, so that's why you said Kyle O'Reilly
And Fish against Sting and Darby Allin, maybe.
yeah, I guess they're just going all out for Double or Nothing.
Yeah.
I
I
realize
mean,
what I just said.
I guess it also depends on how many matches they already have announced. Maybe they won't do it at Double or Nothing, and that'll be maybe the main event of Dynamite, like the week after Double or Nothing or something.
That's true.
Depends on how many matches there are, because I don't think they'll go beyond 8 or 9.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, and I with as far as Double or Nothing, I did say about how Baskin our Swerve and did I say it wrong? What did I say?
Swerve in our glory.
Swerve in our glory? I don't like that. I like Baskin our Swerve. Which doesn't make any sense either, but fuck it. Swerve or Baskin our house. Whose house? Swerve's house. So, what are you doing? What are you? Oh, you're looking at the match
I'm
card.
pulling up the match card.
Okay. Well, before that, before we get into Double or Nothing, real quick, I want to talk about the women's division tournament thing. Which I watched the Dark Side of the Ring for Owen Hart, and it puts so much more weight on the tournament now. Even though the tournament wasn't announced until after the documentary came out.
Yeah. Yeah.
What? Oh, I thought you were gonna say something important. Sorry. So we got Toni Storm and Britt Baker, and then we got Ruby Soho versus Chris Statlander.
Yep. Destination is unknown. I'm actually kind of surprised that Chris Statlander won,
Why?
because it felt like they
She's
were
more than a woman.
okay. I don't know what that means, but
It's like the Bee Gees said, more than a woman to me.
Anyway.
More than a woman,
I thought after their segment,
more than
after
a
the segment
woman
on
to
Wednesday,
me.
it seemed like they were going to go with. It seemed like they wanted to build to a Statlander Cargill match.
I'm sure they will. I'm sure she's not going to make it out.
Yeah, but
So
I
this
just,
is how I watched that match, the Rampage match between Red Velvet and Chris Statlander. See, the red-haired woman and the blue-haired woman fought, and then at ringside there was the green-haired woman and the red and blue-haired woman, and then when the blue-haired woman won, the green-haired woman, the red-haired woman, and the blue and red-haired woman attacked her, and then the orange-haired woman at the announce table came out and helped the blue-haired woman. I realized the whole time watching it, I'm like, everyone has colored hair in this situation.
So, I don't know. I guess maybe it's because I'm so used to WWE and their flubby finishes.
Yeah.
I just assumed, I was like, oh, she's fighting Red Velvet, and so it makes sense for, like, to me, I'm like, logically it makes sense for Jade Cargill to cost Chris Statlander the match, so Red Velvet wins.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes sense because Red Velvet's part of Jade's group, and then Red Velvet can go on to fight Ruby Soho, and then Ruby will be facing a heel.
Mm-hmm.
So then people will cheer, because now I'm almost like, okay, well, like, they're both faces, so like I'm like,
Yeah, but you can still do a good match.
I can. I'm just in
Ruby-
my mind, I was like, this makes way more sense if
Every-
they do it this way.
Every time someone says, "Oh, well, they're both faces," I just think of FTR fighting each other, and I'm like, that was good. I don't know why you can't do that.
No, I mean you can do that. I
By the way,
was just stating that it
Flubby Finishes sounds like either a good band name or a good porn name,
could be
like
both.
a porn movie name.
Could be both.
Flubby Finishes sounds hot. It's probably fat people. Anyway,
So I'm gonna go ahead and say that Darby Allin and Sting don't have a match at Double or Nothing because there's so many matches already.
yeah. Go ahead. Read it.
There's
read off
12.
some-
There's 12 matches.
I did
Darren.
my haired colored joke thing, so you go ahead.
There's 12 matches.
Okay.
So they've already announced for the pre-shows Hookhausen against Tony Nese and Mark Sterling.
Mm-hmm.
They also announced Jade Cargill against Anna Jay.
Wait, why?
Don't know. It's for the championship though.
She just showed up and was just like, didn't you already fight her for the
I think-
title? She did because John Silver hurt Mark Sterling the first time.
No, you're right. You're right. She came out because she has the title match
When they announced the title match.
on social media.
Okay.
I'm not. Wikipedia is saying that it could take place on the pre-show. It doesn't say for sure. Next match: Scorpio Sky, Ethan Page, and Paige Van Zant against Sammy Guevara, Frankie Kazarian, and Ty Conte. 6-person tag team match.
6-person mixed tag match.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Says it might happen on the pre-show. Kyle O'Reilly or Samoa Joe versus Adam Cole. Which is the Cup Finals. I think we both agree it's going to be Joe. Tony Storm and Britt Baker, or Tony Storm or Britt Baker against Ruby or Chris Statlander for the women's tournament final. I think it's going to be Britt Baker and Ruby.
Mm-hmm.
Thunder Rosa and Serena Deep for the championship. A fucking terrible build. I have just no desire for this match.
What, for the women's?
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about it for a little bit, or you want to move on to the next one?
Let's talk about it after I do the full match card.
Okay.
Jurassic Express against Team Taz against Swerve and Our Glory for the tag titles. Jericho Appreciation Society against Blackpool Combat Club, Eddie Santana and Ortiz. It's listed technically as even on the pictures, as an Anarchy in the Arena match. I think in reality it's just a no holds barred match.
Oh, so the usual Chris Jericho thing.
Yeah. Well, he wanted to fight him in
But it's just like the concept
in
of
Stadium Stampede.
you have like a big giant group of people, and you're like that's the one.
Jericho does that a lot.
That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, he's clever and fun, and like the whole like Jericho Appreciation Society is funny and all, but like the it always ends the same way. You know what I mean? It's always the same, where it's like you need to use everybody and have them all fighting and blah blah blah, and you know what I mean?
Yeah. House of Black against Death Triangle. The Hardys against Young Bucks. MJF versus Wardlow. And for the championship, Hangman Adam Page versus CM Punk. So this is including matches that will be on the pre-show. But that is 12 matches.
Mm-hmm. And when does it start? Like 6, 7?
The pre-show starts at 7.
7 to, I think, about, I would say
7 to 8.
Huh?
Oh, the pre-show. Pre-show would run 7 to 8.
7 to 8.
The main show will probably run till midnight.
Okay.
Or like 11:45.
And
They'll
that's next
they'll cut
week,
off
right?
before midnight. Yes.
Jesus Christ. But I mean, like, I think going all out, again, I use the term, and I don't know why. The fact that just going all for it for their... Would you say that this is their WrestleMania Double or Nothing?
I guess.
Because it's their anniversary show. But I know WrestleMania isn't really their anniversary show.
Yeah.
It's just in general, you know.
I guess Double or Nothing tends to be their biggest show of the year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they only do 4, so they always all feel like the biggest show. You know?
Yeah. Just a quick side note. Like I said, I watched the Owen Hart Dark Side of the Ring. By the way, Dark Side of the Ring, if you haven't watched it, it's fantastic. It makes me squirm and cringe sometimes, but it's really great. But for the most part, I was so confused on why, because I don't really know that much about him, and I was confused on why WWE didn't get the chance to do the Owen Hart Foundation tournament, and I went, oh, that's why. Because his wife finds them responsible.
Yes.
Which this is again, that's one of those episodes of Dark Side of the Ring that just make me go, Vince is a piece of shit. There's a scene. There's a part in the video where a woman is talking to him, and he goes, "I don't like your tone," and I'm like, but answer the fucking question. Like, don't worry about the tone. Like, he's like acting like he needs to be demanded respect. And it's just like, someone died in your ring. Why are you trying to demand respect?
Well, it's no different than any, in my opinion,
Corporation?
any corporate or
this is
any
squared
corporate
circle.
millionaire or billionaire.
This is squared circle. This isn't in my opinion.
Oh, okay, sorry.
You can't give your opinion here. No, you said any kind of like
Yeah, like
corporation.
you put I guarantee you put Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos or Steve Jobs or any of those people in that position. Somebody died on the job or whatever, and they're being like, I don't want to say interrogated about it, but in a way, kind of interrogated about it. They're probably going to be a dick about it too.
I think the Steve Jobs one would be weird.
I mean, it would. I mean, there's.
I'm sorry.
That's beside the point.
I'm doing bits. I'm just imagining a skeleton in the
There's-
chair, and they're asking him questions.
There's a reason why. There's a reason why people who are in those positions have some traits of a psychopath.
Yeah. I agree.
Because most of the time, to be able to get to that level of success, you have to be willing to and able to step on people and push people down and do like they. I'm not saying that those people are killers, because they're not, but they have some traits that are very similar to psychopaths, which is like not having. Usually, it's centered around like having a difficult time or not being able to have empathy for other people. Like, you don't feel like when people feel bad, you don't feel empathy for them.
What you're saying is Ted Bundy would be great at a CEO position.
Yes.
Okay. I got it. I
That's
understand.
what I said.
I understand. That's exactly.
That's
what you were
exactly
trying
what
to.
I
That's
said.
what you were getting at. You were
But-
trying to get there.
By the way, there's if this is correct, there's 3 matches on the pre-show.
Mm-hmm.
There's 9 on the main card.
All right. Do you want to predict which ones are the pre-show?
Well, we know Danhausen's pre-show.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to agree that Cargill will be pre-show and the Paige Van Zant 6-person tag will be pre-show. Because I don't think any of these other ones will be pre-show.
Yeah.
The only one I could see switching is I could see them potentially switching the Scorpio Sky, Paige Van Zant, Ethan Page 6-man tag with the House of Black 6-man tag.
Yeah. Because I mean, they've done that already with what's his name, Rowan,
Yeah.
on the pre-show for Revolution,
Mm-hmm.
and now that we have Ray Fenix back, maybe they can do an actual legitimately.
Yeah,
pay-per-view.
which is why I think it's on the main card and not on the pre-show.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I agree.
So,
I agree
yeah,
with those three.
just to throw it out there, there's 9 matches on the main card announced for the main card right now. And it's AEW, so every one of those matches will go a minimum of 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
If you include entrance, ending, and match, it'll go a minimum of 15 minutes, which is 2.5 hours. Not counting any video packages that are going to play, any downtime in between matches, or the fact that a bunch of these are not going to be 15 minutes. Like Hangman and Punk, they're going to go almost half an hour.
Do you think that there's going to be build up for the Forbidden Door? Because that's June.
June. I feel like there could be, but I feel like the only way you would have build up for the Forbidden Door is if you had like a someone versus mystery person, and then it's like I don't know how you would fit in a Forbidden Door thing into this.
Well, I mean, if, for example, if Adam Cole or Samoa Joe wins the cup, have someone come out from New Japan
Yeah, I could see that.
and be like, yeah, that's cool, you won the Owen Hart tournament, but
Yeah. Just to throw names out there, Adam Cole wins, and then Okada comes out
okay.
and is like, I challenge you at Forbidden Door. Actually, you know what? That's probably incredibly likely that there'll be one of these matches will end with some New Japan guy coming out and challenging them.
I really badly want, and it's only one person I want from this Forbidden Door stuff, and that's Will Ospreay.
That'd be cool if he came in. I
think-
don't know that he will, but
Yeah, I don't know. From the stuff I've seen from him, it's just amazing.
Will Ospreay's awesome. Trying to think who else. They'll have Jay White will be in there.
Jay White, yeah. I like what's his face. I'm getting more and more enjoying Takashita.
Okay.
I enjoy him.
Okada will probably be one of the people.
Mm-hmm.
He's a
Suzuki
fucking
probably.
phenomenal professional wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
His matches are incredibly good, but they are slower pace.
There is.
He is like the work a body part type guy, not in a boring way, but just like his matches are
would you
just
say
slower pace.
Who would you compare it to in some other? Even if it's WWE, it doesn't really matter. But like,
Yeah, it's hard.
like Daniel Bryan,
Yeah, I guess Daniel Bryan.
because that's what when you say work at a body part, that's who I think of.
Yeah.
Daniel Bryan.
I would love to see. Ibushi, Kota Ibushi.
No clue.
Oh, dude, he's fucking awesome.
There was
You want to see a crazy like beat the fuck out of each other pro wrestling match? Look up the highlights from Wrestle Kingdom. It's Kota Ibushi. This is a couple years ago. It was Kota Ibushi against Nakamura.
Okay.
They beat the fuck out of each other, dude.
Okay.
So anyway, should we give predictions while we're here?
Yeah, sure. We have the list up. Might as
Okay.
well.
Do you want to do pre-show or no?
Yeah, let's start with pre-show.
All right. Hookhausen or Tony Nese and Smart Mark?
I'm gonna say Hookhausen.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think there's even a contest there.
Yeah.
Jade Cargill or Anna Jay?
Cargill.
I agree. I could see her getting dethroned by Statlander, maybe.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm
Um,
hoping. I mean, either that, because it's very unlikely for her to win it all because of considering the fact that she was a replacement.
Yeah.
That's what I'd want because I'm a very big Chris Statlander fan. But
Yeah. If she wins it all, then either Sheeta was planned to win it all, and they just put Statlander in there and had her go through with the same wins, or because Sheeta got taken out, they completely changed the tournament, which I don't think would happen.
yeah, I don't
I
think
think
you'd call an audible,
Statlander's yeah.
mid, especially since Cheetah was like the last match.
Yeah, I think Statlander's just playing whatever role Sheeta was going to play.
Yeah.
Okay, Scorpio Sky, Ethan Page, Paige Van Zant, or
Um,
Guevara, Kazarian, Conti.
I don't know. It's very weird.
Yeah, I would I would have expected a triple threat match for the TNT Championship.
So was I.
And I think the only reason we're not getting that is because we have the triple threat for the tag titles, and they didn't want to do two triple threats on the same card.
That's just, I mean, also the fact that they've been wanting to do the. Like, do you think that in this case, do you think they were like, hey, we have this mixed tag match between 1-1, but then we're like, well, what are we gonna do with Ethan Page? Or are we gonna put Ethan Page or Scorpio in the mixed tag? And they went, oh, let's bring in Frank Kazarian because
Yeah, it's possible.
Because it's like that's the only reason I could think of why they would do that. To be like, they promised a mixed tag match, but then they were like, but what about Ethan Page? Or are we going to use Ethan Page? Or are we going to use Scorpio Sky? And
Yeah.
we know it's going to be top team, but who's it going to be in the match? So they're like, oh, well, why don't we do both?
So who's winning?
I still don't know. I would say probably top team.
I go top team. I go top team because I think Sammy and Frankie don't get along.
Well, and it's, two of the three are hated by most people.
True
I
that.
don't-
True that.
I don't understand. Like, you don't hate Sammy Guevara and Conti, right?
I want to boo them. They're acting like heels.
You want to boo them?
Yes.
See, like, even with
They're
people,
acting like heels.
just the way you said it, you're like, I have to boo them. They're acting like
They're
heels.
acting like heels.
Like, it's just like it's imperative. I do this.
Yeah, no, there is something about so yes, they were acting like heels, which made me generically want to boo them. But there's also this like additional piece to the puzzle, which is like I feel like it's really hard to cheer when they're like being super cocky, and then within that super cockiness, they're like getting their tongues out and like making out
Okay.
and shit. And I'm like, I don't understand how I'm supposed to cheer that.
But so example, MJF is terrible, but I love him. Like, terrible person, says terrible things. I still boo him, but still do love him as a, like, I love the matches he's in. When he is in
do I
matches.
do I like him as a wrestler? Yeah, but
Yeah, that's, I mean, I get what you're saying.
yeah, I would boo. Like I would not
But you
cheer
would boo
him.
MJF as well, yeah. And
Correct.
I'd probably boo the two of them as well. I find it harder. I'm at the point where I'm like, I don't mind them being heels, but then also I'm like, it's more of like you guys are great. You guys are great. You guys, you're making out. Please stop. Like that. That's the only time I'm like, all right, please stop doing that.
Yeah,
But other than that, it's fine. I don't mind.
I
it.
got you. On to the next one.
Yes.
We both picked top team. We're both 100% so far.
Okay. Wait. What?
I'm the prediction champion.
Oh, okay. We'll talk about that in a sec.
Okay. Next is for pay-per-views. Next is
That's just to bear in mind.
Just want to put out there.
Full disclosure, I mean in pay-per-views.
Yeah. Kyle O'Reilly or Joe versus Cole. I think we both agree Joe is going to beat
Joe
O'Reilly.
versus Cole, but who's gonna win?
Adam Cole.
Yeah. Okay. I would see that. I would see that more likely.
I think Adam Cole because I think Cole needs the win more than Joe does.
Yeah, but and someone said this on Reddit. I
also don't know. I mean, they obviously haven't announced any distribution or anything for ROH, like being a TV series or whatever. But like, if that happens, like, is Joe not going to be on the AEW roster that much anymore because he's an ROH champion?
This is what someone said on Reddit, which was the fact that it feels a lot like Dynamite feels like the Adam Cole show lately. And I agree. Ever since he's been there, it's been like we focused on what he's doing.
Yeah.
And
Did
I
you
don't
see
know
them?
if it's
Did you see they pulled back on the tension because Kenny Omega's not ready to come back?
No, I didn't see that.
Well, no, because the past like all these months, right? There's been all that tension and stuff between the Young Bucks and Red Dragon,
Mm-hmm.
and now all of a sudden they're like all on the same
They
page.
stopped fighting.
And I'm like, oh, this is totally because Kenny Omega, like in an interview, was like, no, I still have one more surgery. Like I'm gonna be out for like at least another like 3 months.
And it's such a disappointment, but at the same time, you're like, wow, that guy really kind of devotes himself to the concept of he had like what both the Impact and the AEW title,
Yes.
and was just like,
And he was AAA world champion.
well, there you go. And he's just kind of as soon as he's done, he goes, okay, I gotta go recharge my batteries, and I'll be back. I don't know when that's gonna be,
Yeah.
but
Well, I mean, he was. It wasn't like he just left. Like he finished out plans. Like he was like fucked up the whole like last 3
well,
months
that's what
of
I mean.
his,
Just
of his
kind of
run.
just plowing through and trying
Yeah.
to make it to the
Like
end.
hearing about all the shit that like he was having trouble with, it was amazing that he was putting on the matches that he was.
But yeah, we have that.
So who you going, Cole or Joe?
I'm going Cole. I think Cole's more predictable, more predictable for it. But I would like to see Joe win as well. But I don't see where that could go from there.
Gotcha. Tony Storm or Britt Baker versus Ruby Soho or Chris Statlander, the Women's Own Heart Cup
I
final.
think it's gonna be.
So I guess we'll start with that. Who do you think the finals is?
It's so weird.
Because I know who I'm picking.
Well, why don't you go?
Okay.
Who
I think
wins the first two, and then who?
Okay, so I think the finals is Britt and Ruby.
Britt and Ruby.
Yep. So Britt Baker will beat Tony Storm. Ruby will beat Chris Statlander. And then who wins? That's tough because I could see it going either way. You know what? I'm gonna go with Ruby. I'm gonna go Ruby wins it all.
Okay. What I'm gonna say is, I'm gonna tell you what I want. I'm gonna tell you what's more predictable that I'd want. and then I'm going to tell you what is most predictable from AEW, which is what I want Chris Statlander to win it all. I like her. She's a hard worker. She's constantly trying to show how great she is. She's trying to do new things every time. Her winning it all. What's I think is more of my decision that's more conceivable is a bit weird, but Toni Storm versus Ruby Soho. And I don't know who would win the final, but maybe Ruby. I think Ruby, like Adam Cole, would need it.
So you're going with Ruby?
I'm gonna go with Ruby for the main. But what is more likely is what you said, which was what Britt Baker versus
Ruby.
Which I honestly could see Britt Baker winning it all as well, because I feel like everyone fucking loves her.
Mm-hmm.
As much as I'm not tired of seeing her winning everything. Like, her having the title is where I came in at, and I'm kind of like just tired of her winning everything.
So what's your official prediction?
My official prediction is Ruby Soho.
Okay.
But what I could see AEW doing is Britt Baker.
All right. Thunder Rosa or Serena Deeb? Deeb.
I'm going with what did she call herself? The Meta?
The Meta?
Yeah, something like that. I don't know Spanish. Leave me alone.
I
Thunder
don't-
Rosa.
Okay, I don't know either. I'm going Thunder Rosa.
I thought you were going to say, I don't know who's going to win this.
I don't know who's going to win this. I'm going Thunder Rosa.
Okay.
Jurassic Express, Team Taz, or was it Swerve in Our Glory?
I'm just going to call him Swerve Lee, but I think the Jurassic Express isn't really... Because this is the thing. I don't think that... A quick side note. Mm-hmm. Are they doing something with Christian and Jack Perry?
I think so.
I feel like they're trying to slowly get to that. What are you doing? Swerve. I see it. Swerve in Our Glory. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying I'm gonna call them Swerve or Swervely. Swervely.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're gonna probably do something with that. Will they do it now? Probably not. They probably most likely will not do anything with Christian and Jack Perry yet. But I do not think these two groups, the Team Taz and the Swerve in Our Glory groups, are going to be the people that take the titles away from them.
Interesting.
Would I like Keith Lee and Swerve to win the titles? Yes. Do I think they would win the titles? Probably not.
Interesting.
Why? Who do you think?
Because I feel like the way they've been portraying it, I don't know. I was kind of thinking like, oh, they're gonna lose the tag titles and Christian is gonna turn on them.
Yeah, I was gonna say if they do win, if they do lose it, it's gonna be that's when they're gonna do it.
Yeah. So I'm thinking it's gonna be here.
So the problem I have with Jurassic Express is the fact that I have barely seen them since they won the tag team titles.
Yeah.
That's the it's like with Britt Baker. I feel like when she had the women's title, I barely saw her. And Thunder Rosa now, I feel like I barely see them when they have the titles. Same with Hangman and Adam Page. I feel like when people have the titles, I barely see them.
So are you going Jurassic Express for your official prediction?
I'm gonna go Swerve in Our Glory for my prediction for what I want. What's mostly likely going to happen? Well, because that's probably what's going to happen. But my prediction, yes, is Keith Lee and Swerve.
Okay.
I'm saying that's very unlikely. My prediction is very unlikely, but I'm telling you what I want.
Okay. I'm gonna go Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland as well.
Okay.
I think Jurassic Express loses and Christian turns on him here.
And the thing too is like,
or loses and then he turns on them when they lose a rematch or something.
With as far as like AEW, I always feel like they put a lot of like. Anytime someone gets a title, they've put so much work into something and stuck with something for so long, and that's why they give them the title. And I feel like with Swerve in Our Glory, it's just like they just kind of showed up a couple months ago, and I don't think they've, like everyone else who've won a title, I don't feel like it's the blueprint for most of the times AEW's done that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so far we've both made all the same predictions.
Okay.
Jericho Appreciation Society versus Kingston, Santana, Ortiz, and BCC.
That's difficult.
Yeah, that is hard because I feel like this isn't the last match. I think they're gonna build to and do
But then also the last
blood and
time,
guts.
last time also they fought was the fucking Kingston versus Jericho, and that was kind of like the beginning of it, but then didn't end after that.
I don't think it ends here. I think they do one more. I think they do blood and guts.
When is Blood and Guts? Is that usually a time or?
No, it's just see that's the awesome thing about AEW. They're not just like, hey, it's our Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, so we got to have some Hell in a Cell matches.
All of the Hell in the Cells.
They say like, hey, this feud has built up to the point of needing this match stipulation.
Well, yeah, I mean, look at CM Punk MJF. They were like dog collar. That's how it's gonna end.
Right. I'm gonna go.
I have my decision, but I'm waiting for you to.
I'm gonna go Jericho Appreciation
Yep,
Society.
same. Wizard, the Wizard of Foz, as
The
the
Wizard.
one sign.
Did you see he has a shirt now that says the Wizard?
But someone had a sign that said the Wizard of Foz, and I liked that.
That's funny.
I was
I
like,
like
that's a
that.
cool sign.
I don't know why, but I fucking love that he calls himself the Wizard, and he's like, I'll throw a fireball in your face because I'm the Wizard. I don't know why.
The
I think
weird
it's
nicknames
hilarious.
is always strange, but I think this one right now I'm very much enjoying, where it's just like, because I didn't understand Demo God, and I don't. What was the one before that?
Oh, you don't understand Demo God?
But then again, I wasn't watching back then.
Oh, I'll have to explain it to you.
Okay. Set me
Um,
down, and
Sit you down and explain it at
Yeah.
some point.
because I'm just so dumb.
House of Black or Death Triangle?
I'm gonna go with Death Triangle
Same.
because I feel like they need to finally finish that.
Yep.
That's like the equivalent of the thing with Malachi is just like he's great at storytelling and building up this lore, but at the same time you just end up so the two things that I've seen him do so far is him versus Cody Rhodes and then this. And it's pretty much just the same thing over and over again, but just doing the same. Like we had Cody Rhodes versus Malachi Black number 3. There was like a third fight, and I'm like, just finish it already. You guys have done, like, I don't know if they're not giving them enough time to work on and do like more with it, but I just don't.
Well, I think this storyline had the issue of like getting
Yes.
stalled out because
of Ray.
Phoenix got hurt.
Yeah,
I think otherwise there would have been like a definitive end to this already.
but yeah, that's my issue was that because of Cody Rhodes and him,
And
it
I think-
made it feel like the same.
Yeah, and I think the Cody Rhodes one was fucked up because like it all should have built to Cody Rhodes turning heel and
Mhm.
like not giving a fuck. Like that's what that whole rivalry was like
Or-
kind of about. And then Cody was just like, I'm never gonna turn heel, and it ruined the whole
Well,
thing.
same with him and Andrade. I'm like, oh, you put him through a flaming table. It's like that's cool. That's at least something.
Yeah, he was just doing that to get cheered.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. That's what I'm saying. It's just like do something more with your character.
Do you, boo boo?
Like I know you're doing crazy stuff, but do more with your character to be like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Hardys or the Young Bucks?
Who won the first time
This is their first tag match in AEW.
in AEW?
In AEW.
In AEW.
In AEW.
That's why I said who won the first time. The Hardys.
I was just
think,
making
right?
sure it was clear. I know that ultimately the Young Bucks won the rivalry because the Hardys lost the tag titles to them, and then the next night they were at WrestleMania made their return.
Okay, so here's the thing for me.
So the most recent tag match, the Hardys won.
Okay, here's the thing for me. I think this is just the beginning. I couldn't see this being more than a startup to the whole thing. I feel like this would be just a kind of a beginning to work towards something else. And I think they're doing this now just because they're like, hey, this is our big event, so we're gonna go all out and do Young Bucks versus. You've seen it in ROH. We're doing it again. You're gonna love it regardless. It's gonna be fantastic. We're gonna have, and like I'm assuming that eventually they'll do like tables or something. I don't know. Not tables. Ladder match or something. You know?
Yeah, no, makes sense. They're fine. Their blow off at in ROH was a ladder match, so I think that makes sense. Just letting you know.
Well, it's weird too because it's like, do you do the same kind of stuff they did in Ring of Honor? I mean, people have seen it already. It's not like
Yeah.
like with most of the fans that watch AEW, they've watched other promotions. They know the lore as they say. So I think this could be kind of like what FTR and the Young Bucks was, where it's just like a really good match, and then that's it. But I could also see this being the beginning of a rivalry.
So who's your prediction?
I'm sorry. I'm gonna say the Hardys.
I'm going Young Bucks.
Well, you're dumb. Go ahead.
MJF or
Wardlow.
Yep, Wardlow. Yep.
That's who's Wardlow. There we go.
Wardlow.
I feel like I did it too loud.
Yep, Wardlow. Hangman or Punk?
I'm going CM Punk.
This is tough. I could see either one of these guys winning.
Not for me.
Really?
CM Punk. That's who I want to win. You asked my predictions. I said CM Punk.
Okay.
It's not. I'm not giving you a.
You
What
don't
are they
think
most
it's
likely
even-
to do? I'm just giving.
No,
you
I'm not asking
CM
what they're
Punk.
most likely to do.
Well,
I'm asking
saying,
if I think that they've built it up well that like it could go either way.
But what I'm saying is that I have been giving you what they're most likely to do and what I think. I'm giving you CM Punk. That's what they should do. That's what I want. I don't care. CM Punk.
Okay.
One of my favorite wrestlers. CM Punk.
Okay.
He's knocked Kane out of the top spot. Way back. Way back
okay.
when.
Okay.
I mean, way before the racist, or not racist, the Republican weird rants about Ukraine and stuff. So
Fuck.
you gonna be devil's advocate? Excuse me.
I guess I'm gonna go Punk.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think partially because I feel like I don't know. I feel like Adam Page if Adam Page wins, I feel like I don't know what he does next.
Yeah.
Because he can't fight Cole. He did Punk. I think Combat Club and Appreciation Society will keep going, so it won't be any of them.
Maybe Wheeler Yuta will come out and say, "I challenge
Maybe.
you, Punk."
Maybe he
Or
fights.
I challenge you, Hangman.
Maybe he fights Wardlow or MJF. But see, this is also weird because when he initially won the championship, my prediction was always that MJF was going to be the guy who dethrones
Yeah.
Hangman. And then, I don't know, I also feel weird because how many people are going to be like, well, of course they're giving it to Punk. Like, their champions were Jericho, Moxley. Well, I guess Omega was the first. Omega, and then Hangman. So I guess they've had two non-WWE champions.
But I mean, in a business standpoint, I get where you're like, "Oh, of course they're gonna go," but at the same time, it's like these guys have been doing it for a while, and
Yeah.
like Jericho, I completely get. The problem with Jericho is it's like against Hangman, you go, but and I don't mean in disrespect. He's so old.
He did fight Hangman
I know, and he's so old
to become the first ever champion.
and that's the only reason I could see CM Punk losing because he's so old.
Oh, I got you.
Like the younger, spry person should win, but I also go, oh, experience.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking Punk wins.
Punk wins. Punk wins. By God.
Also interesting that it's Punk at Double or Nothing, and they didn't get a different challenger, so then Punk would challenge at All Out, which so far has always been in Chicago.
Maybe they're gonna have MJF take it from him in Chicago.
Yeah, I
Maybe
doubt
more
that.
Insult to injury.
I doubt that. I'll also be slightly mad if they go back to that rivalry this soon.
Oh yeah, okay, I get you. That is true. I don't think they should do that right away.
Yeah.
I
I could see. So here's the thing. My official thing is Punk. I could see that. I could see Adam Page winning, and then his next challenger is Wardlow, because they're making Page like very heelish right now, and I was like, maybe they just go full bore heel, and Wardlow is like so hot right now. Like, do they like have Wardlow be the next challenger? But I don't know. Don't know.
They could. I mean, I could see, because like I said, with the legacy stuff and putting in the hard work, I feel like that would make sense to be like CM Punk loses and Wardlow comes in. Maybe Wardlow takes it from him. I could see that, because he's so over right now.
Yeah, well, see, that's the thing. I feel like Wardlow is so over. I only want to see him fight for the championship if he's going to be the face and he's going to go against the heel. Because I think if you put Wardlow against Punk, Wardlow gets booed.
Yeah. Well, again, with AEW, the great thing about them is there's fans for both.
Right, they're fans for both, but if
You
if
think
the
it'd be
fans
more...
if the fans turn around and the fans start booing Wardlow, then is AEW going to like change trajectory and just make
Yeah, he's
Wardlow
gonna
a heel,
make
which
him a
he
heel.
shouldn't be.
But he's like, I mean, already, even with the MJF stuff, he's very cocky.
yeah,
So, I mean, like, it's not hard. It's not like he's, like, the golden boy.
I don't know.
The
I would
angel.
yeah, I hear what you're saying. I would just really like if
You would-
Wardlow's going to go for the championship. I would like for it to be like everybody's kind of behind him, like
Plus-
they were for Hangman.
Plus, they build up a lot of him destroying people most of the time. So, it does work already to be like a heel because he's just running through people. And he barely
Yeah.
CM Punk barely got away with a win on Wardlow at the beginning.
Which was weird.
Why?
The booking of that was really weird. Like he
The
barely
booking
he
for that?
barely got away. Like he barely got away with the win, but then he like
Well, I
fought.
think
I don't know, it was
I
weird.
think that builds towards the MJF thing.
it was. It was just I don't know, a step too far. I thought
Well, like, just
like
do you
Wardlow
think they
destroyed
squashed
him
too
too much.
Yeah,
Yes,
okay.
Wardlow destroyed him too much, which made it
I
weird when
getcha.
he won.
I could see why that could be.
That's what I meant.
No,
Like
I get you. I get you.
he was killing him so bad that it was so unbelievable when he won that like I
Yeah.
was totally taken out
I
of
think
the
the
moment.
table was too much.
Yeah.
But yeah, I get what you mean. Well, that's double or nothing.
Triple or nothing.
What's that?
I don't know. I'm just
Speaking
making
of
shit-
triple or
just
nothing-
making shit up.
Let's bring up the next thing. Triple H has been
Oh.
officially full-time back at WWE. WWE. I keep saying, I feel like I say WWE like I'm WWE. Like I'm just like mumbling. WWE has announced that
double E.
Triple H has come back full-time. This comes right off of the fact that Stephanie stepped down for a brief period of time. Not completely done her job, but taking a leave of absence as she has stepped away from her position and has given it to the con man. The con man, Tony Khan. No, not Tony Khan. Nick Khan. Different Khan. Different company.
Oh.
Spelled the same.
Is it his father?
Khan. No, his father is... Who's Nick Khan's father
Mhm.
or Tony Khan's
Tony
father?
Khan's father.
No, his name is something else.
Oh.
They might be brothers.
That's a weird name. Why would you name your kid something else?
I think what you're saying is you're saying he named him the
So-
actual word something else.
Yeah.
No, that's not what I'm
Is
saying.
he something else Khan?
No. I'm saying the word something else is in like he named him something else.
Yes, Gun is your middle name.
Something
It says
other.
Mr. Ass.
Something other than. Something other than. Tony Khan. I don't know what we're talking about. You confuse the fuck out of me. So Triple H is back. How do you feel about that?
Good.
Just good.
I mean, I don't know what he's doing.
Do you think that NXT will get better?
No.
Okay.
No. Nope. I'm gonna just flat out say right now.
Hope
No.
for them.
0.
But what if I told you that John Laurinaitis died in a fire? Would you feel like something was going to change then?
No.
What if I told you that Bruce Pritchard got hit by a train? Would you think there was going to be
I think
something
the only
better
way
now?
something changes with that with NXT is if Vince
not
no
done yet.
longer. Oh, sorry. The answer is no.
What if a piano falls on Vince McMahon, killing him instantly? Do you think NXT will change then?
Yes.
Okay. So all three of them need to die. Done. Got it. I'll make some calls. Hold on. Where's my phone at? There it is.
It's in your butt.
It's not in my butt. Yeah. Hey, guess what? We haven't talked at all. And by the way, I gave for the one time that we've done this show. For the one time we've done this show, I gave AEW valid criticism that I hate that I don't see people who have titles. Once they get the titles, they just disappear and just show up occasionally, and then barely fight for their championships or whatever. When was the last time we even saw Luchasaurus wrestle? Kibbles is thinking.
Didn't they have a tag title match against FTR on Dynamite a couple weeks ago, right? Or was it Red Dragon? No, it was Red Dragon because FTR came out at the end after the match.
Okay.
That was like, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Okay. That's a month. That was a
Roughly.
month ago.
About, yeah.
You can say a month.
Okay,
No
it
more
was
of an
about a
M.
month ago.
Don't say about a month. It was a month. 4 weeks is a month.
Okay. No, I said it was 3 or 4 weeks. It was about a month.
Listen, I feel like we've barely talked about actual wrestling today because we're semantics. Anyway, I'm happy about it. Dude, Triple H is back. I'm positive that, at least the man has a job.
Mm-hmm.
At least things can go back to normal and he's not dying in a bed, and that's what I don't want. So the biggest thing for me that I want to talk about is I sent you yesterday the statement on SmackDown for the suspension and stripping away of the tag titles of Naomi and Sasha Banks. Their contracts are 2 months away from being done. What do you think's going to happen there?
I don't know. So here's...
I was expecting more than that.
I don't know.
No.
So here's why I say I don't know. Because it happened. It happened very suddenly, and people were like, "Oh yeah, they just left Monday Night Raw, and then they had to like rewrite or do whatever." Which I was like, okay, so maybe this is legit. But then, what's weird is that WWE made a statement about it, which is odd because they usually don't.
Okay.
Like, they didn't make a statement. I don't think they made a statement when Tony Storm did it. They didn't make a statement when CM Punk did it.
Did they leave mid-show?
Tony Storm did. Or no, Tony Storm finished out the segment stuff that she was in and then left. Punk did.
Punk did it mid-show?
Yeah.
Like
Maybe it was before the
his
show
match?
started. Maybe it was before the show started, but...
I feel like that was like they were set on a match and they like kind of fucked up everything.
Yeah, they did have a six woman match set up, but still, it's odd that they, like, it wasn't just they said something on the show. Like, they put out, like, that night, they put out an official press release that was like, WWE's a scripted program and our two performers, blah 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 blah, like, left, which is why we had to
unprofessional.
change. Yeah. So we had to change plans. Sorry, we could not deliver on the main event that we had originally promised. And I was like, okay, well, this is odd. So, like, I don't know. It's just very odd because I feel like anytime WWE in the past, the least that I can think of, anytime WWE has actively on the show made comments about somebody's contract status or about people walking out or whatever, it always turns out to be a storyline.
Really? So you think this is...
So then that's the problem of where I'm kind of caught up because, like like I'm hearing from a lot of people. Like I'm hearing from like podcasts and stuff that they're like, "Oh, I'm talking to people like on the inside and, they're saying like they don't support them and this and that." And so like it's seeming very real. Um which it could be. But then there's also like just the odd thing of like them talking about it openly on air a lot makes it feel like it's a work.
Well, this is the thing that I didn't get, which was they were stating that supposedly they were supposed to be going for both of the women's titles, and then both of them obviously losing. Which is like, why would you explain? That was the thing where like I'm like, well, it could possibly be real because why would they even bother to explain what they had planned for them, and then never did? Why even bother doing that at all? Why even bother trying to explain that they had.
Well, so WWE has not come out and said that that's what they were planning. People who are backstage at WWE have leaked that that's
and
what
the problem
was
too
going
is
to be
that
the thing.
no one knows what exactly happened in the situation that had them leave. Supposedly, no one has explained why or what exactly, at least as far as I've seen so far, what exactly is happened in that situation that made them leave. And it's such a weird thing. Also, with the tag team situation, where it's just like, did both of these people feel this way and they both left, or did one of them go, "Hey, let's just leave," and they go, "All right, fine."
Yeah, which is interesting because it seems like a lot of people are saying that like Sasha kind of got Naomi to do it. Like Naomi wouldn't have
Which I
walked out and
wouldn't be
done all that
surprised.
stuff.
That's what I'm thinking is leading the charge.
Yeah. So for those perspectives, for me, it's hard to like, it's hard for me to tell whether it's legit or not because it seems like because everyone is acting like it's legit, but then WWE is mentioning it on air, which immediately makes me feel like it's not legit. It's
Okay,
a work.
so the suspension, where do you think they go from there? They've been suspended indefinitely.
Right, and if there's only 2 months left on their contract, then
But that's such a weird thing. You know what I mean? That's such a weird thing
well,
to do. Like I could see them doing
they've
it.
they've also walked out. They've also walked out and refused to perform or go wherever, which means that WWE is allowed to freeze their contract for as long as they are not choosing to show up for work. Which means like, yeah, their contract's up in 2 months, but like WWE can based on the contracts they've signed, WWE can now like legally decide like, well, no, your contract is up 2 months after you come back.
Okay, so you're saying and I don't want to disprove the fact that you're saying that this is a work, but I find it so very weird to do that with these two people because it's like if you did it with like Becky Lynch or like a solo group, a solo person, and do it with Becky Lynch or someone who would be like, if it was a storyline, you'd have it with someone who's just like Rhea Ripley or Charlotte Flair, like just randomly just be like, oh, my contract is almost up and blah blah blah, and I'm upset with what I'm being booked or who I'm fighting and blah blah blah, and I feel like this is like a weird out of nowhere thing as far as their storyline because they were literally just like a side part of that. They were just like, oh, you're in a 6-man tag match, and it's just like I feel as if it's very much an issue where it's just like, why are we getting kind of just like a fed up thing? That fed up concept is what I'm like feeling, and I get what you're saying. I don't want to disprove the fact that it could be a work because it possibly could. Who knows? It's a really weird work if it is. But I feel like it's just too strange in how it happened that it's very hard to believe that it's something that's planned.
Yeah, I could
Because like when you said that, I also thought about how the Lull Network on YouTube has the Kevin Hart Cold as Balls interviews, and literally the day after, maybe like a Wednesday or the Tuesday after the Raw that she left, she was on that show, and I'm like, I don't know if they had it set up and went, oh shit, there's stuff going on with her, fucking put it out now, or what. But
yeah, I mean stuff like that's probably filmed
so it's just like
pretty
weird
far
to
in
be
advance.
Like, put that out and go, hey, look who we had. That person that everyone wants to know about.
Yeah.
Because it's like people will go, oh, will she talk about this thing? Because they think it's going to be like, oh, that was just recorded. But
Yeah.
it really
When in
wasn't.
reality, it was recorded like 3 months ago.
Yeah. But yeah, I get what you're saying with the work.
Yeah.
I'd understand if it was.
I could see it going either way. Which is why it's really hard for me to comment on it. Like I don't know. It's hard for me to decipher right now.
And also I could see it being possible with the way that just on how Liv Morgan was treated for that first, start, like that one documentary they did.
Mm-hmm.
Just what was it called? Like it was like a play on words with their name, but anyway. It was like that concept of them going, "Hey, we don't have anything for you. Go back home."
Yeah.
And then she come back and go, "Hey, we still don't have anything. Go back home." That kind of concept of like them not really kind of appreciating the talent they have, and all the like fiery. It's like it's not
also
surprising to be
yeah.
like, "Oh, they have an issue with how they're being treated." No,
Yeah.
no, really.
There's also that crazy thing that like a company would. Unless the performers themselves are paying for all their travel or whatever, it's also very interesting that the company would actively, be like, yeah, we're gonna spend all this money to like fly a bunch of these people out, and then like
Mhm.
tell them to go back home because we don't have anything for them. Like,
Yeah.
why'd you spend the money to bring them out?
Yeah. And the thing with like we talked about last time we did this, talked about Athena and how she said that there was a change and felt like there was more of a, weird sexually pervertedness to how they wanted to do things after Triple H left. Like I wouldn't be surprised if that was something that came across as, more of a thought in their head. Not saying like, oh, Sasha Banks must have watched that interview. Like, who knows? But the prospect of having a 4 horsewoman in AEW excites me because it's not my favorite out of the 4, of course, but the fact that it is, let's be honest, I want Snoop Dogg on AEW. That's really what it is.
He's already been on AEW.
Oh, fuck.
He fucked up a frog splash.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Are you confusing him with Shaq? Because I know that. Okay. All right. Confirmed. Kibbles is
I'm not a
racist. Yeah, there we go. I like that we both came to that at the same time. You heard it first. Kibbles is no longer a racist.
No.
I love that in the headset you just hear it. No. I don't need to see it right now.
I'm pulling it up so I remember to show you.
You don't need to. Who was with him? Cody Rhodes? Of fucking course he
Yes.
was.
That's because they were co-hosts
fucking
on that
over
show.
here.
They're co-hosts on that show.
As one woman once said, Kibbles, cut the shit. But what?
They're co-hosts on a show.
Whatever. I did like the fact that what's AEW Gin and Juice?
Gin and Juice is yeah, why does it say in AEW Gin and Juice? Gin and Juice is the name of Private Party's finisher.
Oh, okay. Was that what Private Party was called before?
I don't think so.
Maybe they were. Maybe they had to change it.
Maybe.
Maybe Snoop Dogg said he'd take legal action. Because he owns that word.
Juice?
Gin and Juice. Laid back. Put my mind on my money and my money on my mind.
And my gin and juice.
See, that was a rap song.
Oh, I said it wrong then.
Rolling down the street, smoking menthol, sipping on gin and juice. Laid back. With my mind on my money and my money on my mind.
Sipping that gin and juice.
Yep, that's the song. Anyway, you heard it here. Kibbles confirmed racist. Anyway.
Don't fucking put that out there.
Don't put that on me. God damn it, don't you put that on me. So, what were we talking about? Excited to see, so what do you think?
I don't remember what we were talking about. Sasha and Naomi.
Sasha and Naomi, yeah. Who's the other 4 horsewoman? It's Charlotte, Bailey? I always forget about Bailey. Sorry.
How could you forget about Bailey?
I just forget
love
about Bailey.
Bailey.
Bailey's great. I just forget about Bailey. Sometimes I forget about Sasha Banks. It's the only reason why I brought up the 4 Horsewomen, because I'm like, oh, right, she's part of that 4 Horsewomen thing.
Yeah, Bailey's got the best
Hugs?
hugs of the 4 of them.
Mm-hmm. Although I am excited that if there was rumors of Hayley Williams doing a song for Bailey's entrance, but nothing ever happened.
Really?
Yeah, because they talked
don't
on
remember
Twitter.
that
The
at all.
two of them talked on Twitter about doing an entrance, because I think it was back when Hayley was coming out with the Simmer.
Okay.
But
I don't remember that
I think
at all.
Bailey was out at the time. It was in the Thunderdome. Before or right around she came back, I think. Or it might have been before she went out. I forget. She was injured for a brief period of time, right? Recently? Okay.
Yeah, she's actually. I think she just finished recovery. So people are wondering if she's going to be back soon.
So, how do you feel about WWE's House of Black?
Nah.
Yeah. There's supposed to be a 4th member.
Yeah, he was teasing. He was teasing Tommaso Ciampa,
Uh-huh.
and
Which he could tease whatever, because it feels like they just go along with it as they go. They're like, yeah, pick
I
that
forget.
guy.
I forget who else he teased. He's been tweeting out. He's been tweeting people, teasing people with tweets.
I just love the fact that the Rhea Ripley thing was like, yeah, everyone knew about this, and then she showed up, and we're like, yeah, we knew already.
Yeah, it's so cool that they.
Yeah,
that-
no,
that
I like.
she's in there.
It's good that she's a part. I like her
we
in that
we
group.
need fucking Julia Hart to fucking turn already. God damn it!
You think?
I don't understand.
Are you mad about that
I
situation?
am. Either fucking turn her or fucking take the eye patch off and be done with it.
Maybe she'll be going with.
And then they did that whole like thing where they were like, "Just do it, hit him," and it was really weird. And then she didn't do it.
Maybe at Double or Nothing she'll show up and screw Death Triangle out of the match.
That'd be cool.
That would be a inclination.
That'd be cool. I'd be down for that.
The inclination of that situation.
Be down for that.
She's not a great wrestler, but she's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
You know who beat her ass, right? I'll give you a hint. She's more than a woman. More than a woman to me. See, because Kibbles, there's a song by the Bee Gees.
The Bee Gees, you say?
It's more than a woman. They did that Saturday Night Fever.
They also did that.
Should be dancing.
Didn't the Bee Gees also do the
Ladies' Man? Or a woman's man?
Yeah.
Oh, you can't tell by
Yeah.
the way I do my work. Yeah.
Woman's band.
But I
No
think
time to talk.
Someone on Reddit did that. Someone said, what is Chris Statlander doing in sign language when she comes to the ring? And they're like, oh, it's more than a woman. And they go, yeah, she must be a Bee Gees fan, because that's a song by the Bee Gees. And I'm like, that's such a good joke. That's such a fucking good joke. I love it. But it's also cool that she's does sign language for it. Because everyone should know it. Not everyone should know it, but everyone would be like, oh, I know what that means. Someone would be signing more than a woman. Did you text me?
No.
Okay. Could you?
Why?
Because I have no friends. I'm
Okay.
kidding. Don't do that.
Oh, okay.
Anyhow.
Does that about wrap it up?
I think so. I think that's gonna be wrapping it up for this. How long was that?
We've been recording for an hour and 20 minutes.
An hour and 20 minutes.
Yes.
Oh, we gotta give people more than that.
You
Is there
fucking crazy?
Is there anything else? It's been 2 weeks. I feel like there was so much more we had. Oh, you know what? There is more. I have
There's more.
paper.
He's got
The
paper.
Okay, wait, hold on. Before we talk about that, I have one last thing on here. The wild cards. Johnny Elite.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Okay.
Dude, that match sucked.
That's what a lot of people are saying.
I didn't like it.
You didn't like it at all?
No. The whole first half of it felt like they were just trying to figure out what they were doing,
Mm-hmm.
and it really felt like one of them was like, "I'm not doing that" or something. The other one
Mhm.
was like, "The fuck we are," and then they were like it seemed like they legit were like not
Is he all
happy.
elite?
No,
So he's not officially with
no,
the
they correct. They said he's not signed an official contract, or he's not signed a contract. They are open to doing, but they are open to him
mean-
coming in the future or potentially doing some more one-offs.
Jay White. I mean, there's plenty of people who've shown up.
Yeah,
And just kind
and I
of
think that's part of the.
Suzuki.
I think that's part of the fun is being able to get like these people in
And
without having to sign exclusive contracts.
That is what WWE is not doing. That's holding them back. It's not using people. Well, it was the only time they did it was Mickey James, right? Or like,
Right.
that is what's holding them back. If they did that, it'd be a little bit better. Because then it's like, it could be anyone who shows up at the Rumble, anybody,
Anybody.
and it feels like it's such like a. Give me your hand. I'm gonna be WWE for a minute. Now this person coming out to the ring is from New Japan, like. Has to be like, okay, listen, this person, like, imagine if Michael Cole had to explain everything in the Royal Rumble, be like, oh, it's so and so from like how Excalibur does.
Mhm.
So it's like people, but I feel like they couldn't comprehend the concept of, I'm gonna hold your hand through this. I'm gonna tell you exactly who they are, what they've done, and why they've done it or why they're important.
Right.
I feel like they're not about that. They're not going like. For me, Minoru Suzuki. I'm like,
Mhm.
this guy is fucking bad. Like, this guy is fucking tough. Like, and that's just from me watching him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it should be a thing of, like, send him out. Something happens. If you like him, that's fine. If you don't like him, that's cool, too. But they're still putting someone over to get them to be, famous. Is it awkward that I held your hand? Are you still on that?
No.
Okay. Should have said yes.
Yes.
You can't just change your answer now.
Oh. No.
Wait, you did it again. So, I do now officially enjoy the female Joker. I've enjoyed her way more now because I think vulgar language coming from the mouthpiece of something that shouldn't
Mm-hmm.
is just so much more enjoyable. There's a clip, I don't know if you've seen it before, but the Dark Order missing Anna Jay and going, no one will ever replace her. And then they go to the cut to the door and she knocks on the door and then it's just her going, surprise, motherfucker! And they're like, woo! They're just all like kind of just freaking out. Like the whole joke being like, oh, no one's going to ever replace Anna Jay. Here comes the replacement for Anna Jay.
Yeah.
And it's just so, I just love the finisher, the gimmick of it's such a Danhausen thing. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's not something you're like, take her seriously. It's just like a fun, just fuck around with. That being said, I saw her fight a guy in a SEAL suit.
Yeah, Japan's is weird stuff.
Yeah, it's DDT, not New Japan, though.
It's still
It's still,
Japanese
I know what
promotion.
you're saying, but I'm saying it was DDT, just so if people want to look it up. I forget what the suit person is. It's like Poco something.
Poco, no?
No, it's Poco N something.
Pokeball.
No, it's like
Pokemon.
Poco Nari or Poco something like that. I just probably said a racial slur. I don't
Pikmin.
know. No. Anyway, I have a list of. So there was a meme. Well, not a meme. I guess it was created by RJ City
Mm-hmm.
in his Hey Ooh interview with Keith Lee, and made up the statement that Keith Lee is the type of guy to, and then blank, blank, blank.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to name some of them off, and you tell me. I want you to rate them by a 1 to 5. How funny it is.
Is 1 the highest or 5 the highest?
5 is the highest.
Okay.
Okay. And I'm going to start off with the setup. Keith Lee is the type of guy to stop at a red light in GTA. No?
That's like a 2.
Okay. Keith Lee is the type of guy to softly chuckle at the newspaper and say, "What will Garfield do next?" That one's good. I like
That's
that
good.
one
I'll give it a 4.
because Keith Lee is such a he's the I feel like the mind of like a Renaissance knight where he's just
Mhm.
like, "Yes, good sir, thank you."
I'm going to go 4.
Okay. Keith Lee is the type of guy to sing the Folgers jingle while making coffee. It's such a weird like
That's weird.
who comes up with this shit? Like it's just weird stuff.
I'm going to go 3.
Keith Lee is the guy to fart on a toilet and say, "Excuse me."
It's funny, but I also don't.
But it's such a weird. These are all stuff from Twitter. I'm gonna give you the ones that RJ City said afterwards, but these are all ones from Twitter.
Okay.
I don't have the names. I'm sorry. No one's gonna get credit for this, but this one's probably one of my favorites. Keith Lee is the type of guy who snores like me 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 me.
That's a 5.
That was good. Keith Lee is the type of guy to thank the ATM after using it. It's
weird.
funny because like I could see him doing all these things like in my head, but it's just like so weird. He probably doesn't do half this stuff, but what was that ranked? The ATM one.
I'll give it
They don't need to be held
I'll
under
give it a
that
2.
much scrutiny. It's just jokes.
I'll give it a 2.
Keith Lee is the type of guy to say your mother and not yo mama.
Yes, that's a 5. In fact, start doing that now.
What, your mother?
Yeah.
You want him to do it or just in general?
I
We should
want him
just
to
start
do it.
doing it. Okay. Keith Lee is the type of guy who describes a book as riveting. I could see him doing
I could
this
see him
too.
doing that. I don't think
Yeah.
it's that funny, but I could see
Yeah,
him
but
doing
it's
it.
something. The fact that it's so close to reality is why it's funny to me. Where it's like I can visualize that. This one's not so much. Keith Lee is the type of guy to wear a kiss the cook apron. See, I could kind of see that, but it's just
that's-
like not that big.
Yeah.
It's more of his actual actions, like the
Yeah.
whole your mother thing. That's like I could hear him saying that in a way
Mhm.
that's like more respectful. All right, so those are all the ones from Twitter. I'm gonna give you the ones that RJ City gave that I thought were the funniest, or the weirdest, I guess. Keith Lee is the type of guy who says, mushrooms," which I think is so. Even Keith Lee thought that was fucking weird. He's
That
like,
is weird.
He's like, okay, that's just strange. Keith Lee is the type of guy, someone who. Wait, what does it say? Oh, I know what it is. It's 2 parts. That's why. Keith Lee, I'm going to read it again. Keith Lee is the type of guy who is someone who has had a pleasant conversation with an old man at a bus stop. All right. Keith Lee is the type of guy who uses the audio guided tour at a museum. This one he's said that he's done before, which is funny.
That is funny.
Keith Lee is the type of guy to develop a bond with a horse. I could see that.
That's weird.
Yeah, but I could see it. Him just petting the horse. No. It's okay. Keith Lee agreed with this one. Keith Lee is the type of guy who values a comfortable walking shoe.
Yeah.
Yeah, and who doesn't? That's what he
I know,
he
right?
was like. Who doesn't? And then finally, Keith Lee is the type of guy who uses a hat rack. And he said, most likely him and Mia have their own hat racks.
Oh wow.
He said, really? He said, that's not shocking at all. But yeah, I thought that was so funny, and I wanted to read those off in our podcast because it was a couple, maybe like a month or so ago, but it was such a fucking funny interview. It starts off with RJ City offering him an ice cream cone that he was already licking. And he's like, "Do you want some?" He's like, I'm good." And then he just kind of puts it down on the table, and Keith's like, "Where the fuck did he put that?" But it's just like some of the interviews are really good. Like some of the stuff he's done, like Britt Baker one is really good. I haven't watched the Billy Gunn one or the Art Anderson. Orange Cassidy one is good. He says, "When are you going to get mad and be the angry Orange Cassidy and become maybe Blood Orange Cassidy?" And he's like, "That's stupid. That's a stupid question." Like he's like, "Okay, well I'm trying my best right now." But yeah, I like them. They're mildly humorous.
Yeah.
Which is something I think Keith Lee would also use the term mildly humorous when he explains something.
Mildly hubris.
No, humorous.
Oh.
Not hubris.
Okay.
Where we at?
Hour and a half.
Okay, that's good. Good end it there. I'm going to do some editing, unless you want
Yeah.
to talk about
Yeah.
anything else.
I'm good.
Okay.
All right.
Did you have fun today?
I had so much fun.
What was your favorite part about today? Don't answer that. It's fine. We've only talked for an hour and a half.
Okay, good.
Okay. So, do we have plans for next week?
Yeah, we're gonna watch Double or Nothing.
Yeah, but I mean, are we gonna record?
I don't have. If we were, it would have to be on Memorial Day. I don't have time Friday, Saturday, or Sunday.
Okay, that's fine. Then we'll just watch. We can watch Double or Nothing, and then next week do. Wait, what do you mean Memorial Day? Is that
Monday.
okay? I probably will have work though, so
Okay.
we'll just wait till next week or the
Okay.
next week after it. Okay, so we are going to be watching Double or Nothing. Why did I always forget? I already forget it. So we're going to be watching Double or Nothing together. We probably won't do an episode for that, but you guys can wait for us. We're all right. What would you rank us?
10 out of 10.
10? Oh no, then we should be doing more episodes.
Oh,
We should be doing a bunch of more episodes.
6 out of 10.
6 out of 10 is better. I've been told I was a 6 before. Oh, a California
Like
6.
a size 6?
No, like my looks.
Oh.
Yeah, like someone judged me harshly on my physical appearance, and it has crushed my day ever since. And I've kept it with me for as long as I can remember.
So you're slightly above average.
But he said a Pennsylvania sticks, so it's probably
I
not
don't know
that
what
good.
that means.
That means it's probably good for Pennsylvania, but not good for like California.
Okay.
Like I'd be a California 3.
Okay.
So it's like
You'd probably be in Alabama 9.
that's true. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you're watching on my channel. Thanks for listening and watching, I guess.
Yeah, do the needful.
The needful.
Mm-hmm.
What's that?
Like, comment, subscribe.
I don't get it.
I don't know. It's something that we need them to do to.
Oh, okay, I
Do
get
the
it.
needful.
I didn't get it right away.
I don't know. It's something I'm trying.
Okay, I like it. The needful. The needful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, do the needful. I like that.
Oh, cool.
Like, comment, or subscribe if you're listening to us. Don't forget to tell a friend and review our podcast wherever you're listening to it on. And we love you, and we'll hope you enjoy your Double or Nothing experience. And whatever the fuck WWE is doing right now. What's our next one? Hell in a Cell?
Yes.
Ooh, I was right. Thank you, and have a lovely evening. I didn't go to an AEW show. I was just at a wrestling show. And then when I went to go watch AEW, I'm like, oh yeah, right. And like I actually took in the information because I was just so like, I'm so close.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the difference between if you were sitting further away or higher up, you might have had the feeling of watching a TV show live. Whereas because you're in the front row, it feels more like you are a part of the show and a part of the experience. So it does